싶으면 그거라도 해. 쏴 죽여 원석주. 죽이라고. 죽여.
Her mum is a sociopath? What does she mean she's trying to order the police chief to go and kill Professor Sotju after her son was the one who killed his daughter and they left and ate their cake? Hi and welcome to the channel, it's your girl Blake. In my last video I did a review on episodes 1 and 2 of The Killing Vault, and today I decided I'm going to try something a bit different. I'm going to do a reaction video, but it's going to be of the finale. Now, I have mixed opinions because I do believe that most dramas always end unsatisfactorily. So I'm expecting a bit of disappointment, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if the ending is a good one. But let's keep hope alive, shall we? Let's just get right into it. I have to admit that I like the opening song, No Love for the Ops. Would you like to vote? Oh, so they're taking us back 10 years. This is the first time we've been so far back on the timeline. The furthest we've been along in the timeline is 8 years prior to the start of the Killing Vault. So this is 10 years. Joo-hyun looks devastated at the loss of her parents.
주연아, 손님 오셨다.
미안합니다. 정말 미안해요. 내가 머리가 안 좋아서 며칠 밤새고 일을 하는 바람에 진짜 죽을 죄를 술 마셨잖아요. 술 마시고 운전한 거 감추려고 그냥 갔잖아요. 학생, 나는 그냥 졸음운전한 것뿐이에요.
Can you imagine the audacity? The woman who caused the death of both of her parents turns up to apologize, and when Joo-hyun questions her and states that she was actually drunk whilst driving and left her parents trapped in a car, she has the cheek and the nerve to address her as a student and tell her that she simply dozed off. I mean, how can you actually even put that, not even put that, how can those words even come out of your mouth at their parents' funeral? Come on, you caused the death of 2 humans and you say that you've dozed off. Isn't the best thing to do is just not to say anything at all? I dozed off. Yeah, I doze off on a regular, but I don't end up killing people. And it's for reasons like these why the majority of the public are taking part in the Killing Vault, isn't it? Entirely the cheek.
다음에 다시 올게요.
Don't come back. And now we have context as to the reason why Joo-hyun might feel a slight connection to Professor Sokju. It's all because she didn't get justice for the loss of her parents, and it seems that the perpetrator in that case, the young woman, might have come from a rich background. So I guess she can relate to why Professor Sokju would have taken his daughter's murderer's life. What a sad state of affairs.
학생이 이런 걸 어디서 따고 하고 왔어? 블랙박스 따는 고생 많았겠네.
네, 근데 더 확실한 건요. 제가 분명히 술 냄새를 맡았어요. 그때 우리가 다 죽었는지 살피기까지 했는데 코를 찌를 듯이 술 냄새가 나더라고요.
Now, if the police had done their job, she would have been tested for alcohol at the scene of the crime, or at least on the same day, knowing that after 20 hours, the smell of or the traces of alcohol in the blood would be hard to detect. Shouldn't the police have done their job more efficiently? And why is the victim the one that's collecting the evidence in regards to a case that's resulted in 2 fatalities? Surely it should have been handled much more professionally by the police authorities. I'm just gobsmacked. Where is the justice? And now it becomes a case of her word against the perpetrators, because there was no official test to know the amount of alcohol in the perpetrator's bloodstream at the time of the accident. they can't rely on the basis of she said that she could smell alcohol because it's hearsay, isn't it? Oh my God. The police sabotaged the case. It makes me wonder, did they get a payout? Oh, Joo-hyun is so unjaded, unlike myself. She thanks the police officer just for taking the time to listen to her. But ultimately, why didn't he take the time to investigate thoroughly?
강요해 가지고.
After she kills the parents, the bitch has the audacity to drink. Where's the reflection? Where's the time of introspection? When is the time to put down the bottle and take responsibility or accountability for the fact that you've ended 2 human lives on account of you drinking? But no, instead, you're there dressed up to the nines in a red dress and cheering your friends with more alcohol.
저 여자 잘 먹고 잘 사는 거 꼴보기 싫어. 죽여버리고 싶어.
아우, 됐어. 최고의 복수는 우리가 잘 사는 거야.
I'm seething like Joomin.
자, 고생하자. 언니! 야, 지아!
Is Joo-hyun a martyr? How can she smile so happily in front of the murderer of her parents? I mean, even I believe in, divine punishment, but I don't think I could stand there in front of the killer of my parents and smile. But then again, she has a responsibility to her younger sister, doesn't she? She wouldn't want her sister to dedicate her life to revenge. So I guess I would have to put on a brave face in front of my younger brother myself. Oh.
생포 가능합니다. 시간을 주시죠. 한 놈도 아닌 두 놈의 여유 잡다. 폭탄이라도 터뜨리면 사살해. 더 늦지 않게.
Moo-chan, you're right to question him. How can a police chief tell him to kill the suspects? Shouldn't he try to ensure their capture, but if it appears that it will prove too difficult or dangerous, he should take them out without hesitation? Surely that's a better order than kill them. Is he a hitman or a police officer?
원석주 박철민, 당신들은 포위됐어. 내가 지금 그쪽으로 갈 거야. 무기 없이. 대화를 풀자. 우리 이제 할 만큼 했잖아.
우리의 행복을 짓밟은 사람들은 자신들의 죄를 책임지지 않는데 왜 항상 더 올바른 사람들이 자신에게 엄격한 걸까요?
He's right. In this instance, he's definitely right. Even though Professor Kwon Sok-ju has committed a murder, and obviously he's gone on to take further lives through the killing vote. Him, as well as Joo-hyun, are carrying the burden of not getting justice for the deaths of their loved one, and the perpetrators going on to live a comfortable life, seemingly without conscience. That speech what Ji-hoon gives totally resonates with me, because he's right. Why are they the ones that are taking responsibility for their actions when the murderers out there are just living comfortably?
난 찬성. 그렇다고 다 죽이냐?
죽여달라잖아.
그래도 죽이는 건 안 되지.
I think if I had to do this vote, I also would vote against the professor taking his life. But I told you I didn't want to participate in the killing vote, but in this instance, voting for someone not to die, I think I could do that without being a bystander.
조금만 더 기다려주시면 제가 이거 확실하게 처리하겠습니다.
현장에 컨트롤 타워가 없으면 직접 가요, 그럼. 가서 쏴!
I knew I was right. I knew it. How could the police chief tell him to kill the suspect? It's because this bitch, Min-soo's mom, what's her name? Min Ji-young. Min Ji-young is a raging sociopath, just like her son. And I'm sorry if I'm throwing the word sociopath out there lightly, but ultimately, she protected her son, even though he's committed the most heinous crime of killing a child. She protected him to ensure that he didn't go to jail. On top of that, she had her maid's son take responsibility, and he was used to take beatings every time that Min-soo did wrong. So instead of being culpable for his wrong acts, his mom helped to further cloud his moral compass, because she employed someone else to take beatings on his behalf. So she raised the monster. She didn't let him face any form of punishment for anything what he's done wrong in his life. And now, even though he ended up dead because his own actions brought about his premature demise, she still wants revenge for the death of her son. Even though no one officially murdered him, he died by his own acts in a way. But she's out for vengeance, and she's using her wealth to manipulate the police to control the investigation. She needs to get locked up.
여태 받아먹었으면 그거라도 해. 쏴 죽여 원석주. 죽여. 죽이라고. 죽여. 죽여.
Her mum is a sociopath? What does she mean? She's trying to order the police chief to go and kill Professor Sotju after her son was the one who killed his daughter, and they left and ate their cake happily around their family table whilst he's rotting in jail for murdering someone that wasn't even the actual perpetrator of the crime. And then she's got the audacity to lose her mind when her son died through no fault but his own. But she can't accept it. She wants to take out Professor Kim Sok-ju. This woman's having a laugh. She needs to be locked up. She's a menace to society.
투표 안 됐습니다. 태반의 기권이라 투표 자체가 망했어요.
Oh, the majority abstained.
그럼 그건 제가 맡겠습니다. 사형투표 프로그램 저한테 주세요. 교수님의 뜻을 계속 이어가려면 제가 갖고 있어야죠.
Ah, the police officer, not the police officer, the prison officer wants to take over the killing vote program. So he intends to continue the killing vote after the professor's gone. But was this the professor's actual intention when he initiated the plan? Or was his intention just solely to capture his daughter's murderer? I'm curious.
그럼 아버지 부사하실까요?
그럴 거야.
우리 곧 만나요. 할머니.
Oh my God, I've been so roped into the episode that I forgot that at the end of episode 11, we saw that Ji-yoon got attacked. How convenient. Did I get amnesia? That's how engrossed I am with the episode.
지훈이가 오늘 한 걸 봤으면 먼저 떠나는 게 얼마나 상처가 될지 알잖아. 근데도 계속 고집 부리겠다는 거야? 그걸로 갈 거야. 강한 애니까.
I wonder if Ji-hoon was his biological son, would he feel differently about leaving him behind? Is it easy to leave Ji-hoon behind because he's not biologically his son? Does he see him as a son? If he saw him as a son from the outset, surely he probably wouldn't have committed the murder, would he? Because wouldn't he be concerned about the welfare of the child that's still alive over the child that is no longer living? What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Are his decisions to murder I forgot the boy's name, the one that didn't commit the murder of his daughter, was it easy for him to murder him and to plan to take his own life now because Ji-hoon isn't his biological son? What do you think? To be honest, I don't want the professor to die, even though he's Ketal and he started the killing vote. Oh, look at the cinematography here with the window. That looked good. But no, seriously, I get easily distracted by pretty things. It's so sad. I guess I'm a magpie. I'm a human magpie. But seriously, I don't want Professor Sokju to die. Even though he's committed atrocious crimes, I still empathize with him as a man who lost his beautiful daughter both prematurely and viciously. Yeah, I empathize with his pain, even though I'm not a parent. It's just the whole thought of losing your child because another child disliked the amount of attention that you showered your daughter with. So he loved this child too much from Minsu's perspective. So he took her life. Isn't that just the worst? Wow, the cinematography here out the window is beautiful. Hurry up, Moonshan, save him, save him. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Oh, I didn't see him diving through the window.
다친 데 없어?
그럼요. 제가 왜요?
최도희 씨 납치되는 거 다 봤습니다.
주현 씨하고 다시 사이좋게 지내고 싶어서 한 말인데 팀장님이 오해하셨나 보다.
This journalist, I really question her moral compass. I mean, what on earth has the mom promised her? Like a moment ago, they was just about to slash your pretty little face. But here you are, like a forked-tongued serpent, spitting lies to the police and your boss who come to protect you. I mean, what on God's earth's going on?
흥미로운 대화였어요, 의원님. 오늘 하신 얘기 절대 잊지 않고 기억할게요. 다음에 초대하실 땐 미리 연락 좀 주시고요.
Oh, it's hurting my ears. I mean, I'm not naive, but like, where are your scruples? Don't you have any convictions that you like stand by? Are your morals up for sale? Where's your integrity as a human being? That someone can do anything to you and then they can just offer you money as recompense? I understand civil law and the right to sue, but in this instance, come on, surely she needs to be charged criminally. This woman is out of her goddamn mind. Actually, you know what? I'm a little bit annoyed because I feel like they're always propelling or perpetuating this story that all people from lower class, or I don't even want to use the word class, all people who aren't on the higher end of the spectrum income-wise or in respects of wealth are easily bought off whenever they're offered money in exchange for their integrity. I mean, some things aren't compromisable. Do you know what I mean? Why do they never show people? Well, actually, they do show. I'm just going off on one. They do show. But it just feels like in this particular drama, every time this bitch, Min Ji-young, offers someone money, they're willing to compromise every sense of moral culpability. Is moral culpability even a thing? Any kind of morality that they possess in exchange for Korean won, or is she paying them in dollars? God knows. But the point is, the moment she offers them some form of monetary compensation, they're willing to just sell their soul to the devil. I'm sorry, not me.
I want that bitch put behind bars.
안녕하십니까 여러분.
And look, now the same has got poor Ji-hoon getting beat for 200 million won. And this is the problem with vigilante justice, isn't it? Anyone can decide to carry out crimes and feel justified in their actions. I think this is why enforcement of the law, rules and regulations need to be carried out by the chosen authority. It can't be just carried out willy-nilly on a whim. Because now these guys who are getting paid as low-class bounty hunters are trying to justify killing Ji-hoon if they get enough likes.
무죄 악마입니다 여러분. 자, 지금부터 딱 1분 김지훈의 사형을 찬성하시는 분들은 좋아요를 마구마구 눌러주세요.
It's scary how the killing vote could devolve into complete and utter chaos in society, isn't it? I mean, could you enter the scene any more slowly?
야, 이 자식들아 뭐 하는 거야?
goodness. Is one blow enough to kill him? Could leave him bloody brain damaged. He was about to hit him, strike him a second time in the head with a metal bar. People can be frightening, can't they? They both can't die. Come on, you're gonna make me cry? Not June, not June. I don't want Professor Sokju to die either. I don't want neither of them to die.
그러니까 말하지 마. 괜찮아.
Oh my god, don't tell me Professor Kwon Sokju is gonna survive and he's gonna have to suffer the burden of losing 2 kids? I can't cope. Please don't let Ji-hyun die.
지훈아. 지훈아. 지훈아.
Surely it's just too cruel if Ji-hyun dies. Why is he so adamant that Professor Kwon Sokju should die? I'm not sure I understand the prison officer's mindset here.
박철민은 차량을 이용해 도주.
Oh my goodness, this is just really too cruel. If the professor survives and then Ji-hyun dies, and then the professor's aware that all of this that has taken place has led to the death of his remaining child, and then he's been brought back to life after being on the brink of death to be told that he's lost his son.
우리 애 어떻게 됐다고? 무찬아, 우리 지훈이 어떻게 됐다고?
I mean, isn't this too barbaric?
우리 지훈이 무찬아. 괜찮아. 내가 죽고 괜찮아.
Oh my god, it's like the start all over again. He has to go through the pain of losing another child. I can't cope. I know people should pay for their crimes, but surely this man is paying too high a price.
마지막으로 인사해도 될까?
What a beautiful sunset. It's the first time we've seen her so quiet in the whole show.
나래가 떠난 걸 그냥 받아들였더라면 지훈이까지 놓치진 않았겠지. 모두를 불행하게 했어. 미안해요. 모른 척 살면서도 계속 미안했어요. 가장 미웠던 건 이 사회와 국가였어. 단호하고 적절한 처벌이 피해자에게 얼마나 큰 위로가 되는지 그걸 알려주고 싶었는데.
And why is this prison officer coming in like a wrecking ball?
왜 약속을 어깁니까? 마지막엔 반드시 희생을 해야 된다고. 교수님의 피로 세상을 바꿔야 된다고 얼마나 말했는데 왜 목숨을 아껴?
그리울 사람은 네가 그리는 세상을 만들어.
He's gonna chuck it, isn't he? Chuck it, chuck it. Take it with you. Are you gonna jump and take it with you, though? Is he gonna jump and take it with him? Oh, it's not that deep. It won't result in any death. Wait, unless he can't swim, or he's not going to bother to try to swim. At this point, I understand Moo Chan's desire to right his past wrongs, but personally, I feel like it would be much of a kinder deed to desist from trying to save the professor. But that's just me. Am I the cruel person? What would you do in this circumstance if you was Moo Chan? Would you try to save the professor, or would you just let him bow out? Did he escape? They haven't found the bodies. Or doesn't that look good?
우선 사형투표 프로그램 개발자인 김지훈의 사망건에 있어 전 국민들에게 송출됐던 마지막 영상 및 행적이 포착된 CCTV, 제보 영상들을 분석한 결과 주범인 권석주의 사주를 받은 조직폭력배의 소행으로 밝혀졌습니다.
Oh my god, he's still protecting that bitch to the end. Why are they pinning it on Professor like he would want to hire people to kill his son? They really want to make him the monster, don't they? I feel like all of this is going to turn Ju-min or Ju-hyun to the dark side. Even Mucha.
근데 진실에서 너무 벗어난 얘기만 해서 뉴스로 가치가 없네. 자체 킬할게. 가장 크게 일조한 사람이 할 말은 아니지.
Unbelievable.
썩은 언론 도려내는 게 내 손. 근데 빈손으로 그게 돼? 아무나 목 터져라 외치면 듣기나 할까? 세상은 비교적 깨끗한 권력자가 만드는 거야.
Do you agree with the journalist's sentiment that a lesser evil will change the world or bring about the change the world needs? I mean, I'm not exactly the optimist, but personally, if you have to sell out your morals or do things that shade or taint your moral compass, then are you really the person that the world needs in order for it to change? That's quite a profound question, isn't it? I'd have to give it more consideration, but I think I'm sounding more and more like an idealist, and maybe she's got a realist sense of, she's got a realist perception about what would initiate change in the world, and I'm taking it from an idealist perspective. I mean, I'm also not naive. Or is it just delusions of grandeur for humans to believe that they have the capability to change the world? Well, that's sounding well pessimistic. I'm leaving this one alone. We're so happy, weren't they?
지금 뭐 하시는 겁니까?
취하하죠. 집 고치는 돈이 더 나오겠어.
청장님 템플스테이 가셔서 연락 안 되실 텐데. 그리고 대한민국 변호사 아무도 안 올 겁니다.
Ooh, so was the husband the source of all her wealth and power and influence? And now he's cut her purse strings off and connections? What's inside there?
안에 기둥이 하나 더 있네. 빨리 부셔.
Is that where they put Naru? So she was shocked that her son had committed a crime and smiled at her when the reality and gravity of the situation hit his mom. In that instance, he smiled. But even though she was shocked and probably disturbed at seeing what her son had done, she still found the nerve to conceal the crime and the evidence. I think if he was my son, I'd just, yeah, I would have him locked up. I mean, can you just let your son get away with murder? And the problem is, it wasn't a murder carried out on the spur of the moment, or, you know, kids' prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed, so they can act rashly and recklessly, and it could result in an accidental death. But this was premeditated. He planned the murder, and he clearly was disposing of the body because he'd wrapped it up securely with tape and plastic, hadn't he? Her son was a real menace. So I believe in that instance, if my son had smiled so chillingly after murdering someone and attempting to dispose of a body, I will be the first to call the police myself. Direct.
최진수 형사가 의식을 찾아서 의원님께 사주받은 증거 조작, 인멸, 살인 교사와 방조 증언하게 됩니다. 긴급 체포 충분한 것 같은데.
Finally. Look at the scenery.
그럴 거 알고 계셨죠?
민지 형, 긴급 체포라도 하려면 그렇게라도 해야 했어. 조직의 칩을 드러내봐야 수사하는 데 썩 도움되지도 않고.
아니요. 권석주가 원한 건 고작 민지 형이 아니었는데 팀장님은 여전히 그걸 모르시네요.
Maybe Detective Muchan hasn't figured out the victim's mindset and how and what they count as justice. I guess that's because everyone has their own set of morals, which will affect their definition of what justice is to them. One year later.
택했습니다.
네, 개탈 얘기가 나와서 궁금한 건데요. 히든앱이든 팩터든 결국엔 위법일 거라는 생각이 드는데.
얀! 어우씨, 완전 눈물었네. 완전 용됐네, 용됐어.
하고 일만 해서 순진한 우리 윤지 사이버를 만난 데서 내가 요새 통 잠을 못 잤어.
근데 완전히 주무실 뻔하다가 이제 극적으로 일어나셨는데 잠은 좀 줄이셔도 되는 거 아니야, 임마.
I guess a year passed. There's always a blatant PPP in the show, but it does look delicious.
기억이 나는데. LRAE 뭐 어쩌군데 이게?
텍스트 파일이 이렇게 커?
나래?
어?
So are you telling me that the hacker that won first place was Ji-hoon, but he must have been so young at that time? It's such a loss of talent, isn't it? It's so heartbreaking.
생일 축하해 김지은. 나 오늘도 정의 구현하다 언니한테 겁나 깨짐. 나 취업됐어. 나 오늘 너랑 똑같이 생긴 사람 봤잖아.
하지만 행복했어. 혹시 지금 옆에 내가 있다면 문자 잘 받았다고 웃어줄래? 그런데 미나, 너한테만큼은 내 진심을 말하고 싶어. 실은 나 많이 무섭거든. 세상을 바꾸고 싶은 것보다 동생을 정말 사랑한다고 말하고 싶었던 게 더 큰데 어쩌다 이렇게까지 흘러왔을까? 지난 내 19회가 잠깐이라도 반짝이었다면 그건 민이 너와 함께여서야. 미안해. 그리고 고마워. 주신, 일식파는 남자는 만나지 말고
너였구나.
퉁쳐야지.
Oh,
민정
it's his
그만 잊어.
business.
내가 증언을 했어도 기어이 빠져나갔잖아. 그 대신 뒤집어 쓴 비서는 안에서 죽었다며.
Are you kidding me? There really is no justice for the rich? Is it that corrupt?
웃기는 얘긴데 나 전보다 권석주 더 이해하게 됐다. 내가 믿던 게 머리선 같은 걸 알고 나면 그대로 살긴 힘들지.
Oh, she's repenting, or is this for show, for politics, to bag a new husband? Which is it?
아드님 사건으로 오다 가다 법정에서 몇 번. 민 의원님은 당연히 절 모르셨겠지만
잠시만요. 그의 얘기는 하고 싶지 않습니다.
I think she's too calculated to actually feel any guilt. I feel this is a calculated move.
그 사고에서 후회하는 건 하나예요. 더 일찍 자수시켰어야 했는데 엄마로서 망설였던 그 시간.
죄송합니다.
비슷한 처지의 사람들끼리 슬픔과 무력함을 나누는 것뿐입니다. 다른 이유는 없어요.
무죄의 악마들. 9년 전에 권석주 교수의 국선 변호인이었습니다. 저도 다른 이유 없습니다. 슬픔을 나누시는 그 시간이라도
Wait a minute. I wonder if he's
피해자 가족에 대한 배려를
Was he
하셔라.
one of the Ketal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Was he? Or is he related to the prison guard? Anyway. I was gonna say, don't tell me she's roughing it. Is she gonna get on the peasant mobile? I knew that was a bit too far-fetched.
우선 프로그램이 시작될 정도로만 만든 암흑기입니다.
웬만한 해커들도 다 실패했는데 역시 다르네. 딸 가진 아빠한테 가장 치명타가 뭘 것 같아요?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I've said because I implied that she would be looking to secure a rich, powerful and influential husband when in fact, no, she's more than capable of subsisting on her own deluded merits. And it looks like she's found someone more sinister than her son to team up with. If you can imagine, I guess like attracts like, doesn't it? And she's so, as a parent or a former parent, she has the audacity to ask, or should I say, the temerity to ask, what do you think is the worst thing that can happen to a man with a daughter? This is what happens when people escape accountability for the wrong actions that they do. They need to be punished. Otherwise, they become emboldened to such an extent that they can just joke about the lives of other living human beings.
권석주가 정말 죽었다고 확신하세요? 생존 반응은 없지만 시신이 발견되지도 않았고 가끔 살아있나?
Is the professor alive?
오랜만에 오셨네요.
포렌식 팀에 맡길 게 좀 있어서.
팀장님, 권석주가 아직 살아있다고 생각하세요?
아니, 그러지 않았습니다. 이제 좀 쉬어도 되잖아.
I agree. That said, what was on the USB?
유치원이 있습니다. 어느 날 개나리 반의 아이들이 한 아이를 때렸습니다. 맞은 아이는 큰 소리로 울었지만 개나리 반 선생님은 원장님에게 이 사실을 숨겼죠. 지훈이는 내가 맞을 때 소리 높여 폭력을 고발한 것뿐 결코 어느 순간에도 범죄 행위에 나선 적은 없습니다.
I see Detective Moo-chan still doing things his own way.
갈게요. 가야 할 일이 생겨서요.
I like this OST.
또 다른 이가 될지는 몰라도 제2의 개탈은 반드시 나타날 겁니다. 세상에 남은 무죄 양말을 잡기 위해서.
Okay, so that was the end of the Killing Vote. Actually, I thought that the end was much better than I'd expected because I have got low expectations when it comes to finales. But it ended on a good note, and plus they gave it a slight open ending because it's insinuating that Professor Kwon Suk-ju could be alive and that he captured the password pattern, or maybe that one's not the password pattern, but he captured the USB that contains the data regarding the program for the Killing Vote. And then as it's ended, it suggests that the Killing Vote is still taking place. So it gives potential for a second season. And I am aware that this was adapted from a webtoon, so I'm not sure how many chapters of the webtoon was used in the creation of the 12 episodes of the actual TV series adaptation of the Killing Vote. Needless to say, I'm a fan of the Killing Vote. It definitely would make life more entertaining if there was one. Not that I'm advocating for one, but you know, it would kind of be fun. It's a bit like Death Note, isn't it? It's insane, but it's kind of fun, the idea of someone using the Death Note and writing someone's name down and that person dying and the manner of their death within 24 hours of them having their name written in the Death Note, isn't it? So if Professor Kwon Suk-ju was his own version of Yagami Light, isn't it? And Yagami Light was such a likable villain. And although, is he an anti-villain or is he a villain in this one? Do you consider Professor Suk-ju a villain or an anti-villain? I mean, he's his own kind of Batman, isn't he? Because he's implementing justice vigilante style. And he's doing it in a democratic way because he won't carry out the Killing Vote unless he receives more than 50% in favour from the population. So there is some fairness to the judgment. But isn't it sad that he lives in a society where, well, I guess it's sad everywhere, that injustices still exist and happen. And how heartbreaking it must be for victims when they feel like they followed the law of the land and still they're unable to get justice for their crimes. In this instance, it's in respect... Oh shit, the laptop's about to die. Let me get the battery charger. Like, I don't remember my last train of thought. Yeah, isn't it sad that the victims have to go to such an extent to obtain justice? And surely this is the problem with such lenient sentencing. I mean, in the first episode, or was it the second episode, when he imposed his judgment on Baegi Chul, and it was because he only received 18 months for distributing so much, over 200,000 videos of child pornography. And I guess it's similar to the the Rotten Mango video that I recently watched regarding the Burning Sun scandal, which happened in South Korea, involving the singer from Big Bang. And he also received a similarly lenient sentence because of his alleged sex trafficking ring. And I just think it's a crying shame that insufficient and unjust sentences are being dished out for such violent, heinous crimes. And what does this say about the victims or to the law-abiding citizens in the country? Your human rights and dignities don't mean anything in comparison to a person of influence and power and status. You're nothing. And as such, we can destroy you like a child plays with ants with a magnifying glass and demean, degrade and humiliate you. And under the law of the land, you won't be protected. You won't be afforded any rights. Surely this is the wrong kind of messaging to be sent. I'm going off on one. I'm going to wrap it up here. Okay, thanks for watching today's video. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao, annyeong.